Before we begin, this video is about the film The Prestige and contains major spoilers. If you haven't seen The Prestige, stop this video and go watch it. Seriously, it's great. So this video is about Christopher Nolan's film from 2006, The Prestige. Its name is derived from the three parts of an illusion: the pledge, the turn and the prestige, which is the grand reveal. In a documentary on the making of The Prestige, Nolan says the following.
For me, The Prestige is very much about filmmaking. It's very much about what I do. It's also intended to suggest to the audience some of those ideas about how the film itself is spooling its narrative out to the audience. We want people really to be aware of the effect the film is having on them as it's unfolding before their eyes.
We can conclude from this that he is trying to draw a parallel between the role of a director and a magician. Michael Caine's character, John Cutter, introduces us to the three acts of a magic trick, and we, the audience, are invited to search for clues or signs as to where Nolan is taking us in this story. What is the prestige? However, Michael Caine's character is also saying that we, the audience, want to be fooled.
Now, you're looking for the secret, but you won't find it. Because, of course, you're not really looking. You don't really want to know. You want to be fooled.
In this video, we are going over the clues and signs that Nolan showed in the film.
Are you watching closely?
So, are you watching closely? When you rewatch this film, Borden's secret is obvious. There are several hints for the viewer, however, Cutter has always known. When asked, he immediately replied that it was a double.
Why, how does he do it?
He uses a double.
No, it's too simple. This is a complex illusion.
You only say that because you don't know the method. It's a double that comes out at the end. It's the only way.
So, Cutter pretty much tells us the secret. But what other hints were shown in the film? Early in the film, a character called Owens approaches Borden to buy his tricks for Lord Caldlow. He tells Borden that Fallon has declined to sell the transported man, and Borden replies with the following.
He offered to sell me your tricks. All except the most valuable one, the transported man.
Well, I won't forgive myself for selling my greatest trick.
He says he wouldn't forgive himself, because he and Fallon share their identity. Later, Angier is shown reading Borden's diary. The entry is...
We were two young men at the start of a great career. Two young men devoted to an illusion. Two young men who never intended to hurt anyone.
The camera shows Borden and Angier, but he is actually talking about him and his brother. They are the two men devoted to an illusion. A different hint is when Cutter tells Borden that he uses the wrong knot during an illusion.
I saw you drop the knot again.
I think I turned my wrist.
Some nights you just don't get it, do you? I mean, if that knot slips and Julia's on the hoist, she'll break the leg.
It's the wrong knot.
When the trick is performed the following time, we see Borden tying a knot. The illusion doesn't end well. At her funeral, we see Borden coming to pay his respects. This is the other Borden brother. When Angier asks him which knot he tied, he really doesn't know.
I'm sorry for your loss, Angie.
Which knot did you tie?
I keep asking myself that.
And?
I'm sorry, I just don't know.
Another clue that I really like is when Borden went on a date with Sarah and asks if he could come in for a cup of tea. She declines, but after opening the door, he is already inside.
You think is that enough to keep me out?
I think so. So I'll see you again.
Milk and sugar?
Of course, there are two of them, but it could have been possible. He could have been quick enough, and of course, we don't really want to know the truth. The next hint is seen after Borden's fingers has been shot off by Angier. We see Sarah opening the bandage and stating that the wound looks more recent than it had been. That's because it happened more recently.
Don't understand how it can be bleeding again. It's as bad as the day it happened.
Related to Sarah are the hints that she knows when Borden is lying. Some days she sees that he tells her the truth when he says he loves her, and some days she sees he's lying.
Say it again.
I love you.
Not today.
What?
Well, some days it's not true, and today you don't mean it.
Sarah, I love you.
You see, today it's true.
We also see Borden ask Fallon to help him convince her that he loves her. It seems like a strange request, till you realize he will be Borden next, and will be in a position to try and make things better.
Sarah, she knows. I mean, at least she knows that something's not right. So, if you can just do whatever you can to help me, whether talk to her, just convince her that I do love her.
The other Borden, however, is in love with Olivia. In a scene we see Olivia kiss the wrong Borden and calling him Freddy, which he rejects. This Borden is in love with Sarah.
What is it, Freddy?
Don't call me that, please.
In a later scene, we see the other Borden confess his love to Olivia after Sarah's death, but she doesn't believe him, although it is the truth.
You want to know the truth about me? Truth is that I never loved Sarah. I never loved her.
You married her. You had a child with her.
Part of me did, but the other part didn't. The part that found you, the part that's sitting here right now. I love you. I love Olivia. I love you. That's the truth. That is the truth that matters.
In a related scene, we see Borden and Sarah having a fight. She claims that she knows what he is.
I know what you really are, Alfred. I know.
Sarah.
I can't live like this.
Oh, well, you think I can live like this? You think I bloody enjoy living like this?
The last hint I want to discuss is quite late in the film, but might still be interesting. We see Borden talking to Fallon, saying Angier can have his trick and that they shouldn't go back there anymore.
We're done. All right? Let him have his trick. I don't need his secret. So, don't go back there. You leave him alone. Both of us, just leave him alone.
Then we see Borden in Angier's show, despite what he said earlier. Later, Borden apologizes to Fallon, saying he was right.
You're right, I should have left him with his damn trick.
This shows that they switched places as Borden and Fallon, but it's quite late in the film, so you may have already gotten the secret. Lastly, as a bonus, I want to discuss two parallels. First is the little boy who sees the trick with the birds. First he cries and claims the magician killed the bird, which is how Angier does the tricks. When Borden shows him the bird in the cage, the boy asks him, "Where's his brother?" which is how Borden does the trick.
But where's his brother?
A different parallel is that Borden's wife and double both die of hanging, while Angier's wife and double both die of drowning. So, that is why The Prestige as a film can be seen as the third act of a magic trick. There are all these hints and clues, but we don't want to see the truth. We want to be fooled, and we want to be entertained, and The Prestige did both of that. Thank you for watching.